Hello, everybody, and a big welcome from me, Beth Worsdell, author. This is the Witty Writers Show, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube. And firstly, I've got to apologise for not having done so many shows recently. However, we have moved, and it's been chaos and carnage ever since. I haven't stopped. But today I am here with two amazing authors who are very close friends of mine, and that is Amber and Candace. Hello, darlings.
Hi, how are you?
I've been so excited because it's been a little while since the three of us got together. And I have to say, you two are writing machines. You impress me so much. It's amazing. Candace, I'm going to start with you, darling, because we've got so many new viewers, which is absolutely amazing. And not all of our new viewers have actually seen you on the show before. So I want to try and give them some background of what you guys do individually and what you guys do together, because as I said, you are a writing dream machine. Now, Candace, you're also known on social media as Literary Dust, which I absolutely love. I think that's absolutely cute as hell. But you've actually got 42 works. I checked. Some some are yet to be released. But oh my gosh, you're a writing machine. It's absolutely amazing. Just to give our new viewers some background, when did you actually start writing, and what made you decide to give it a go and start writing? For you, Candace. She's froze. Is she? No, there you go. She's here.
My Wi-Fi sucks. Okay. Well, first,
the joys of technology. The joys of technology.
Yeah, probably go to Amber. Can you hear me now?
Yes, you're good.
Yeah?
You're good.
Okay, so yeah, most of those though are short stories. I have a lot of short stories, and I mean I write shorter books, so I'm not a super long book. But anyway, what was the question again? Because I got lost there.
What started you writing books? What got you started?
Oh, I don't know. I guess originally I wanted to be like in high school, like a horror movie screenwriter, and then somehow that turned into like, oh, I want to write books, but with life and then get married and kids and college, like, I don't know. It took a while to start writing. So like, then I finally decided to start.
And what sparked you? I think all of us as authors have that thing that sparks us, that sets it all off. So what gave you that spark to think, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to start writing.
Oh, so actually it was whenever my dad passed, and I was like, okay, life's short, so I better just do it. So that's when I started. So
do you know what? Good for you. I tell you, life is too short. It really, really is. And I always say to everybody, do what you dream of, because there's nothing worse than living with regret of not trying something, isn't there? It's just, you just can't do it. We've got lots of people popping up and saying hello. So before we get to you, Amber, I'm just going to quickly pop them up just so they can say hello. And if you have got any questions or you want to tell something to Amber and Candace, pop it in the comments. Whether you're on Facebook or watching us live on YouTube, if you want to ask us anything, pop them in the comments. We would love to hear from you. We've got Heather. She says, hi, everyone from Gemma and I. Hello, darling. As I've mentioned before in previous shows, Heather has got a fantastic online book club, which I suggest you look into because it's fantastic. She does not only the book club, but she also does live videos as well. She is amazing. We've also got the fabulous Carla. She says, hello, ladies. Was your ears burning? Because I was mentioning you a minute ago, you amazing lady. We've also got Evelyn. Hello, Evelyn. She says hello to everybody. And we've also got the fabulous Laura, who's joined us. I love Laura. She is one of my biggest friends. She's also like the grammar police. So anything I write, I send to her. She is amazing. And she says, hello, everyone. She is fantastic. And we've also got a Facebook user. We can't see your name, unfortunately. But hello. She
The
says,
mystery.
I just downloaded your book, so super stoked. Oh, you must be English to come out with super stoked. You must be an English person. But hello, darling. Nice to see you. We've also got the fabulous James. He says, greetings, everyone. And Laura is laughing at me, but she loves me. She does. She loves me, loves me, loves me. Carla says, what did you say? Oh, see, I've got your curiosity going now, Carla. I will message you later. It was all good. It was all good. As always, always. Now, Amber, what was your spark? What was the spark that made you decide to get writing?
I don't think it was just one thing. I just always wrote. Like as a kid, I was just making up stories, and my mom would tell me stories. Instead of reading a book, she would make up her own stories at bedtime. So it just kind of grew up, making up stories. And then I finally wrote a book. It was horrible, but somebody read it and was like, "Oh, it's great. Thanks for lying to me." But so it just made me be like, oh, maybe I could really do this, and then I did it.
It's just amazing, isn't it? I tell you, it's amazing with the right little bit of inspiration or the right support. You can just go on and have a career at something that you're completely passionate about. Now, Amber, you've got over 22 works, some of which are due to be released. And you both tend to write YA fantasy stroke romance. And I have to say, your books are spectacular. I mean, I've read 3 now, I think, but like the ones you've written together, and they just make me jump in. Does that make sense? That they're so well written. I just want to jump in and get lost in the story, and it fast paced, action packed, bit of spice. They just tick all the boxes. I think that's absolutely amazing. Okay, so my Facebook user is CJ Ives, another amazing author. Hello, darling. And Laura says, yes, I do. She's awesome. She's absolutely awesome. Now, we're here to celebrate the fantastic release of your book, Maddie. And I have to say, all of your book covers are amazing. I mean, they're so well done, and I love the cover of Maddie, which I've actually put up on our event. But the blurb and everything's so well done. Now, I'm just going to read it out, just so everybody who hasn't had a chance to check it out, the blurb, I'm going to read it out for them. He's a villainous prince. She's a virtuous queen. Their desire for one another will ignite desire. Oh, hang on. Have I got the right one?
That's book 2.
That's book 2. I'll get to that one in a minute. So this is me trying to be organized. Look, it's crazy. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, she's a Mad Hatter. He's a loyal brother. Together they must survive a world steeped in blood. That is one of the best books ever. Maddie has been trying to rescue her sister from the Queen of Hearts' prison for 2 years. When her last hope to infiltrate the palace fails, Maddie is left with no choice but to join forces with a sexy man from the outside world of Wonderland. Noah's life has become a repetitive cycle ever since breaking up with his long-time girlfriend. But then his sister Alice arrives at his doorstep, sporting a new pair of fangs. Noah vows to cure her, even if it means sacrificing himself. Tensions rise when the Queen of Hearts threatens to take down Maddie and Noah's sisters, putting both of their worlds in peril. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. Now, you've both written quite a few retellings of books that we've grown up with, such as Alice in Wonderland, etc. What has inspired you to do this, to give a new take on the stories that we grew up with? Candace?
I don't know. I guess because for me, it's like I like dark. It freeze again.
That's all right. She's on.
It freeze again. Sorry, my Wi-Fi again is awful. But anyway, I guess I don't know. For me, like I like to do darker takes on stuff. So and obviously with romance. So I wanted to, I guess, go a darker route than what's normally out there, I guess, with retellings. So that's what I wanted to do with it.
Did you feel the same way, Amber?
Yeah, I like to ask like what if. So it's fun to like play with things that are one way, but then what if it also had vampires? So it's fun to just tweak things.
It's just fantastic. And I loved your series about the Wizard of Oz as well. That was just, I mean, what a twist. It was just absolutely brilliant. The way, you know, you turn characters into something completely different, but you're so familiar with the characters that you enjoy their remaking, their new personas. It's just absolutely brilliant. So which one of you came up with the idea to introduce vampires to Wonderland?
I don't remember.
I don't know. I know when we talked about Wonderland, like we said, we were going to do something different than Fae. So I think we discussed, and I was like, I know for a fact, I was like, I don't want to do wolves. I'm not a big werewolf, or like, I like werewolves that are like actual beasts, not the wolf, you know, the wolf shifter stuff's very popular. And I was like, I can't do the wolves. So somehow, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We talk a lot, so it just kind of.
I know we both really like vampires, though. So
see, this is the thing. You two have been writing together so long, like you're like one.
Yes.
Two halves of the same whole. That's absolutely brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. We got a comment from Carla. She says they write smexy, pearl clutching stories. There is no YA in there, LOL. You two can walk us through the process of writing the scenes. Oh, okay. Very, very good question. So how do you two manage to write the scenes? What's your process of working together?
I write the boys and Candace writes the girls. I don't know if there's so much a process for the sexy pearl clutching scenes, but yeah, I guess we just write it and then we swap chapters and edit.
I love that. Do you find that works out easier? Because I would imagine, Amber, if you're doing, you know, the male characters, is that right? You're writing the male characters, and Candace, you're writing the female characters. I would imagine that makes it slightly easier to get into their personalities because you're not going from one sex to another and one persona, you know, a masculine persona to a feminine persona. Does that make it a lot easier for you to be in character as you're writing?
I think so.
And
you get really deep into one as opposed to, you know, swapping.
Yeah. And how easy is it for you guys to get into the flow as you change and swap chapters, Candace?
I think they're all pretty smooth. I mean, like I'll write mine and then like, you know, she'll whatever, we edit it, and then swap back, and then I read hers, and then like I can go write. I don't know, it flows pretty well because, and then also it's like I don't know, because whenever I write by myself, like my first draft's so short, and I think this works better because, you know, I edit it several times before I send it to her, and then, you know, edit it afterward, so it's more like of a finished product too when we get to the end.
I would imagine that because you're both prolific writers and you've both been writing so many years, I would imagine you're like a well-oiled machine editing each other's works. Because I don't know about you, but Amber, when I'm writing, when you're going over your same piece of work over and over again, it's very easy to go blind to your own errors, isn't it? But I would imagine with you and Candace, you know, swapping the chapters, you're finding each other's errors that you've gone blind to.
Yes, and we pick up on each other's like overused words too. Like I know she's always like, there's so many of this word in here today, so I'm like, okay, thanks.
I call them enemy words. I've got a whole list of my enemy words, so I just write, and then I check off my enemy word list after I finish to see how many I've done. Because you can't help it, can you? And the thing is, if you overthink it as you're writing, then it just ruins your flow, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got some more. Lots more. Oh God, there we go. Lots more comments here. Carla says, "I'm here to heckle." Period. She's so funny. Oh my gosh. We've also got Jolene. Hello, Jolene. She says all of their book covers are delicious. I loved Maddie. That is so awesome. You have to let us know what you loved most about the book, Maddie. That would be awesome. We've also got the fabulous Josephine Wrightson. Hello, Josephine. She's in the UK. She says, better late than never. I am here. Hello, ladies. Thank you for joining us, my darling. She also says, can't beat a dark tale. Sounds great. She loves the dark, spicy stuff. Carla says, Candace came up with the vampires. Oh, there we go. So she knows where the inspiration struck. Laura says, hey, Joe, to Josephine. And she says, great questions. And she's also got a good question for you. She says, do you find that fills in better expanding your works? So do you help each other to expand your stories as you're writing? So if you receive a chapter, Amber, do you find it quite easy to flesh out any details that you think it might need, and vice versa to you, Candace?
It really helps me, and we'll like feed off of each other's chapters and come up with new ideas. Like just a little like one sentence that she writes, I could be like, oh my gosh, what if we do this? And it just opens up like a whole thing.
That must be amazing, because you must inspire each other so much. It's absolutely brilliant. Josephine says, me too, enemy words, yuck, LOL. And Evelyn says, do you find or replace function for the evil words? So what do you mean by evil words? Are we talking the enemy words, or just really naughty ones? Because I've written a few of those recently. I have to say, I don't know about you ladies, but I tend to use Grammarly all the time. Mm-hmm. And Grammarly is fantastic. I love it because it picks up whether you're saying the same thing too many times, but it also gives you options to change it. And I think that I've used that heavily over the last 2 books. And it's saved me so much time, because it picks up on the stuff that I do miss. Absolutely. So Evelyn says, yes, the enemy words. Yes, Grammarly, lifesaver. Worth its weight in gold. It really, really is. So tell us a bit more about Maddie. I know it's out there. It's been released. And the reviews are absolutely amazing. So tell me more about Maddie herself. What's her story?
Well, she's a female Mad Hatter, but it takes place in UK. So I think our biggest issue was just making sure our UK words matched. Probably should have went to you for that.
I would have read it. Quite happy.
No, think about it. But anyway, I don't know. Again, her backstory was she got basically she worked in a hat store in the human world in England, and then Rav, the rabbit, came to her store and lured her in, and she fell in love with him. And like that day, slept with them. And this is the beginning, so no spoilers. Slept with him, and he turned her into a vampire, and then was like, bye, like because he's the villain. So, so she had a tough time after that, and ran into the White Queen, and that's where she became Mad Hatter. And then later on, White Queen got I guess had a jet because they were trying to kill her, and then her sister got kidnapped, and that's where she's pretty much at.
It's just amazing. Honestly, the inspiration is truly amazing. Now, you have actually published Rav, and that was in January 22. So you can, everybody, pick that one up right now. You can also pick up Maddie now as well, because it was released on the 22nd of May. And as I said, the reviews are absolutely amazing. Now, as I said before, I absolutely love the fact that you're retelling amazing stories that we all grew up with. And I'd be really interested to know what stories our viewers read when they were young, what were their favorites, and what stories they would like to have retold. I would love to know, because I don't know about you, but I loved, like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That I devoured repeatedly. There were, oh my gosh, there was just so many in my childhood, and I loved Alice in Wonderland. I loved The Wizard of Oz. I loved all those type of stories. And I think what you're doing in retelling them in a more adult way is bringing them back to me, so I can like just enjoy them all over again, but with completely fresh outlook. I absolutely love it. So when you was young, Amber, what were your favorite childhood reads? And if you could pick one of them to rewrite in an adult way that you haven't already done yet, which one would it be?
Oh, I kind of skipped all the ones that were like for the younger people and just started reading, like, I guess, older books. I don't know. I know my favorite book when I was growing up was The 10th Kingdom, which is also a TV show or like miniseries kind of thing. So, but it's so adult. I don't have an answer to this. Unless it's a movie, which is also a book that I haven't read, but The Last Unicorn. I would like to see that like redone somehow.
Oh, there we go. We might have some inspiration going on. What about you, Candace? What did you read? What were your favorites when you was growing up? Is there one that you would like to retell?
I really like The Princess and the Pea. That one was my favorite. I did also used to read Thumbelina, which Amber has a retelling on Thumbelina. So I don't know. And all the Grimm's fairy tales would be really cool to do.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? Because I recently watched something on the TV, and it was all about the origins of fairy tales, and my mind was blown, because the origins of like Snow White and Red Riding Hood and stories like that, when you go back to their origins, they were so graphic, like terrifying. Like Cinderella, and I don't know how many people know this, but the origins of Cinderella, the sisters, the ugly sisters, actually tried to chop off their toes, I think, to fit in the shoe.
I heard that one.
Yes, and I was like, thank God they retold that in a more toned down version. But you're right, it's absolutely amazing, and I think it's quite funny how they started off so graphic and quite scary in the days that people would have a picnic while watching a hanging, because that's what parents did back then in those days. And then they got completely toned down for modern society, and now they're being spiced up again. And it seems like all these stories that we grew up with are going on this constant evolution and roller coasters, isn't it? So they're like the gift that keeps on giving, really. I absolutely love it. I love it. Okay, so right, I'm giggling here because I've just read a comment, and you're going to laugh when you see it in a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's have a look. So Josephine says, with regards to enemy words, mine is mostly just. So I either take it out or swap it. Something along the lines of merely, only, that sort of thing. Wow, that sounds brilliant. Think my TBR list is about to grow. You need to add them all, Josephine, because they're absolutely brilliant. And the one that's got me giggling is Josephine's husband, who's just put my enemy word, wife. Nick, you're being very brave considering you're right there in the same house as your lovely wife right now. I hope you've already eaten your dinner, because otherwise it might have some strange additives. There we go. Okay, Josephine says, oh yes, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Me, I like Lord of the Rings, but it would have been better with added spice. Wouldn't everything, I have to say. Carla says, oh my God, I loved The 10th Kingdom. Best show ever. And I don't know whether it's because I'm English, but I have not seen it. I have not seen it.
Amazing. I love it. It's
to...
like a fantasy world where like all the characters are real and they live in these kingdoms. You'll have to read it or watch it, whichever.
I'm going to read. Oh, well, I don't know, because sometimes if you watch something before you read it, it's better. Because I've read so many books and then I've watched the movie and I thought, they've left so much out. So I will look into that for sure. Evelyn says, Never Ending Story. Such a good one. I loved that one. I absolutely loved it. And something has got Evelyn shocked from what I said earlier.
Probably the toes with Cinderella.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. And that was tame compared to some of them, I can tell you. Heather says, yay, I love The 10th Kingdom too. I'm feeling a bit left out, actually, right now, because I haven't seen it. Evelyn says, I have also heard there's a Grim Beginnings. Ooh. I might have to look into that. Mm-hmm. I love those. Okay, and we've got Jolene says, I loved the book and the movie, The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. Gabrielle Suzanne de Villeneuve, I'm not sure how to spell that. Beauty and the Beast. I loved Beauty and the Beast. And the grim version of Rapunzel. It would be nice to see if you gals could approach any of these in the future. Wow. We're just throwing inspiration at you, ladies.
Heck yeah.
Carla says, yes, Never Ending Story. Love that. And Evelyn said, yes, the toes. I know it.
I knew it.
Cringe. Made me cringe. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Carla says, they should have left the toe chopping in the story.
I agree. But I love that dark stuff.
I mean, it does show. I mean, that action shows the complete personality of the character, doesn't it? That you'd be willing to chop off body parts to marry a prince. I mean, that's just desperate. Desperate is the word. Okay, and James says you have to remember a lot of the stories are the Grimm's brothers. Absolutely. I'll tell you one that I would like to see redone. And I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure you guys or our viewers will remember. But it's about the dancing sisters, and they used to sneak out at night, go dancing, and then come back, and their shoes would always be ruined. Do you remember that?
The 12 Dancing Princesses.
That was one of my favorites.
Love it.
That's a good one.
I love that one, and I'm sure there could be a retake on that somehow. And I've just found it quite. It's funny, isn't it? Because when you read things like that as a child, you're so innocent and you don't really read anything into people's actions and the story plot. You just enjoy the story. But now I look back and I think, damn, the story was really all about the king, because the king, he had total control over these sisters. They all had to sleep in the same room, which was a bit bizarre because he lived in a big castle. They all had to go to bed at a certain time. And where was the queen? You know what I mean? As an adult, I look at that story now and I'm thinking, oh, that's quite deep going on there, Oh my gosh. So yes, so viewers, let us know which stories would you like to see retold, and what do you think should happen? I mean, I think it's amazing that you've introduced vampires to Wonderland. I think that is just amazing. You've completely turned the story on its head and created a completely new one. It just blows my mind. But what other mythical creatures would you like to write about, Amber?
I'm not sure if it's a mythical creature, but I want to do demons next.
Oh, now I am a huge demon fan, and I don't know about you ladies, but have you read anything by Darren Shan? Oh, you need to. My son got me hooked on his books, and he does a whole series on the Demonata. So if you write something about demons, I will be there, Amber. What about you, Candace? What creature would you like to write about that you haven't yet?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. Are they technically a demon, like the incubuses and succubuses, and I don't know. They're always interesting.
Do you know what I love the most about writing fantasy and science fiction? Is that you can pretty much write about anything you want and actually completely invent new creatures. And it's not always an easy thing, is it? You know, you have to sort of let your imagination go a little bit wild, really. What creatures appeal to you the most and why? So Amber, you mentioned demons. Now we know through literature and movies, etc., there are so many demons that have been created. But what demonic traits appeal to you to write about?
I like to make them sort of more humanized. So I like the ones where it's like, I don't know how to put this into words. As a writer, I should, but like I just like to see what a person, I guess, could become evil and demonic. I don't know. I just like to give it a humanity twist, I guess I'm saying. I don't know how to say it.
Do you feel the same way, Candace, about your creatures that you create? Do you like the fact that you make them very human so that people connect with them easier?
Yes, I like to have them more humanized, but also very morally gray. So, like the mixture.
Well, do you know, I don't blame you, because I mean, let's face it, there are events that happen, and there are people in this world that have done things that, you know, you can't make that shit up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching a doc. I'm terrible for crime. I love crime shows and how they catch criminals and stuff like that. And I was watching the documentary the other day about Gacy, and if you wrote that, people would think that it was unrealistic. But that man buried so many people in his house and yard. It was like over 20. He murdered over 20 people. So, you know, I think sometimes when you make your villains, even if they're supernatural, mythical, or whatever, if you make them more human, you know, people connect, because let's face it, you know, the human race is capable of some pretty terrible things.
Mm-hmm.
I love your characters, because even your villains, you can't help but love them. Honest to God, I swear, I love your villains as much as the rest of your characters. Candace, who out of all of your books, including your new one, Maddie, who is your favorite character? If you could meet any of your characters, who would it be?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, I like Maddie, but it would probably be from my what is it? Sorry, my mind's blank. Lark from Lyrics and Curses, but that's because I'm a big 80s fan, so I'd like to go back to the 80s and meet her.
I can understand why. Best music ever, I have to say. And Amber, what about you? If you could meet and hang out with one of your characters, who would you pick and why?
I think I would want to hang out with the Sandman from my Dark Dreamer trilogy, because he's so sweet and he can do all this fun magic.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
At the same time.
I love that. Okay, viewers, if you could meet one of your favorite childhood characters, who would it be and why? I would be interested to know. Me personally, I would love to meet the lion out of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Oh my gosh. He was so wise. And I could ride him in a purely platonic way, I'm just saying, because we've been talking about spicy stuff, so I'm just saying. So I would love to know. I would love to know. We've got lots more comments, so I'm going to pop them on so we can have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, let's look. Okay, Carla says she likes the sisters in Cinderella. I like that too. They could be so much crueler than they are. And I've got to say, did any of you watch the recent remake of Cinderella the movie?
Which one? I know there's a couple.
The one with the singer in, what's she called?
Oh no, I didn't see that one. I know what you're talking about.
I was a bit disappointed.
Mm.
I have to say, I don't really know why. It just didn't quite give me the right vibes. I don't know why. Let's have a look. So Evelyn says, have you explained using griffins and griffiths in your works?
I think it would be fun.
Griffins are quite magnificent beasts, though, aren't they? And I'll tell you what else hasn't been written about that much is gargoyles. I think gargoyles are fantastic.
I love gargoyles.
Yeah, the mythology behind them as well, that, you know, strike at midnight and they're turning into proper creatures and stuff. I love that. I have read a couple of books about them, and I love them, but then they didn't really catch on, did they? It wasn't really a trend like, you know, as you mentioned before, Candace, you know, there's a whole pretty much genre now about shapeshifters, especially when it comes to wolves.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Gargoyles are steeped in history, you know, from the Middle Ages, and yet hardly anything. It's interesting, very interesting. Jolene says, there we go, get up. How about these poor gals were running off to have fun and the king sicks someone on them to find out what they're up to, and then he gives a daughter as a prize. Gotta love looking at stories through adult eyes. Very true, Jolene. I like it. I like it. Josephine says, me too, watched it, but I can't remember what was talking about at the time, so apologies about that, Josephine. Sorry. Carla says, I did not love the Red Queen. May she suffer in the cornfield I wished her into. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Carla says, no, I didn't like the sisters. I was clarifying my comment from earlier. The sisters were thirsty. I apologize, Carla. Thank you, darling. Thank you. James says, what about using Peter Griffin? Isn't that from the Family Man? I've got to say, my son loves watching that show, but there are times when it makes me cringe. I have to say, that show does make me cringe. Sometimes they just tiptoe over the line a little bit, and I'm like, oh, no, that's a bit nasty. Okay. Evelyn says, Gargoyles was a short-lived cartoon.
Yes.
I remember it well. I do. And Josephine says, crime documentaries, the Gacy one. Gotcha. See, we're such a fast-paced show. Like, sometimes I find it hard to keep up with myself. Jolene says, please, we need more gargoyle stories.
I'd be down for that.
I agree. Do you know, it's amazing, isn't it? Because I've, you know, being in the UK especially, there are some magnificent buildings that still have gargoyles on them. And I remember as a child thinking, ooh, they're looking at me. They're one of those things that doesn't matter where you go, it makes you feel like they're watching you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm sure your inspiration knows no bounds. It really, really doesn't. So Maddie was released on the 22nd of May. As I said, the reviews are fantastic. Absolutely amazing. And you do have book 2 coming out in November, which is super exciting. Oh my gosh. Now, I will try and read the right blurb for Chess, which is coming up in November. Let me have a look. Let me just make sure. There we go. Okay. So this is Chess, which is book 2 in Vampires in Wonderland series. And this is the blurb. He is a villainous prince. She's a virtuous queen. Their despise for one another will ignite desire. Chess has been the Queen of Hearts' perfect, devious son all his life. With Wonderland as his playground, he revels in consuming blood and pleasuring lovers in his bed. That is until he's blamed for his mother's death and a price is put on his head. Eva has been in hiding for years biding her time until she can reclaim the ivory throne, until she can drive a blade through the heart of the cruel prince who once tried to murder her. With a mutual enemy hunting them both, Chess offers Eva a bargain, one she has no choice but to agree to. A bargain neither can keep. Chess is the second book in this companion series of sizzling romance, enemies to lovers, and sexy vampires. You don't make them sparkle, do you, these vampires? Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I'm so excited. Now, you've been publishing the majority of your recent books through Midnight Press, which is fantastic. How's that been for you? Because, you know, you've been on quite a publishing journey independently and together. And I hear nothing but good things about Midnight Press. It must be a great experience to be able to just publish these books and have so much support.
Yep.
It's a good community. Everyone in there is so nice and helpful. Yeah. So it's good.
So do you come up with your ideas for the book covers, or is it a work in progress with the publishing company?
Well, it's all basically us. You know, it's same as independent publishing. So we have full control over everything. So when it comes to covers, we design them ourselves. Usually I have to have Amber do the background because I'm like, I don't know what to do for the background half the time. So she comes up with the background stuff.
That is absolutely fantastic. I tell you, I'm so excited for you both. I really, really am. Oh, hang on. We got some more comments. Hang on 1 second. Josephine says, architecture is fantastic. And yes, there are loads about gargoyles. I tell you, you might want to, if you do decide to go down that route, you might want to have a look at the UK architecture and in Scotland as well, I think, as well. Jolene says, I'm in Pittsburgh and we have a few good gargoyles too. Love them. I can see a few of them in your stories. Ooh, interesting. So book 2, Chess, is coming out in November. Have you already started writing book 3 or planning it?
Yep.
No, they're like efficient. They're writing machines. I swear, it's going to be the case. You're going to be on the Guinness Book of Records for the amount of books you two publish. That's amazing. So have you finished book 3, or where are you up to at the moment?
We have 3 chapters written, and I'll be sending her my chapter 3, but it's the 4th chapter we'll have completed. I'm sending her this weekend. So
that is amazing. I tell you, I'm so excited. So excited. Let's have a look. Okay, Evelyn says, oh, where are we? Oh, Evelyn says gargoyles versus the griffins.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, that sounds amazing. And Laura says, I would be up for that. And she also says, throw in some Kyrin in there as well. And Jodie says, I can't wait to see how you two, I can't wait to see how you two make me love Chess. He was such a pain in the arse in Maddie. I'm sure you'll find a way to win me over to his side. Oh, I love that. The challenge is on. The challenge
he's still a pain the entire book, but he's my favorite.
This is what I mean. This is like the characters you love to hate, or that you know you should dislike them, but you can't help it. You still like them, and I felt that way about in your Crow book. Your characters, even the really sneaky, slimy ones, I'm like, yeah, I really quite still like them. I couldn't put it down when I was on vacation. Do you know what? You two are an absolute joy to chat to every single time. You really, really are. I have actually put all of your links attached to this video. So everybody can follow you on all your social media, and Amber and Candace are everywhere. So make sure you follow them, especially on Goodreads. And you can actually follow them on their Amazon author profiles as well. So, and when you do read their books, please make sure you leave a review because it makes all the difference. I can't stress that enough. Reviews mean everything to us authors. But thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute blast. My voice is going, I'm afraid. We have been live on Facebook and YouTube, and thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We have got, I think, nine different podcast platforms. So if you would like to listen again to this show while you're having a bath or doing your ironing or driving to work, you can listen to them on Google, Spotify, Apple, and many others as well. But thank you everybody for joining us. Amber and Candace, you are the bomb, seriously. And if you wouldn't mind just keeping an eye on this video and the comments, because some people aren't able to join us live but may want to ask you something, in which case, viewers, you can put any questions you have in the comments and Amber and Candace will answer you. But thank you for joining us on the Witty Writers Show today, my ladies.
Thank you for having us.
You are the bomb. And hopefully once things calm down in my new cabin, we'll be able to do lots and lots more shows, hopefully. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you've had a fantastic time with us. And we will see you next time, everyone, on the Witty Writers Show. Bye for now.